In this video, we are going to tackle about earthquake types of faults, inactive and active faults. So what is an earthquake? An earthquake is the shaking or trembling on the earth's surface caused by the sudden release of energy. It is also one of the most dangerous phenomena that occurs anytime, anywhere. The Philippines lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire, which means that we are in the region where earthquakes and volcanic eruptions may occur. So we are going to differentiate between focus and epicenter. So what is focus? It is where the rocks first break and the movement is vast. It is also the point within the earth where seismic waves originated. Epicenter, it is the spot directly above the focus on the surface of the earth. So let us take a look on the illustration here. So this is the focus and this is the epicenter. So in layman's term, so that you could understood it easily, the focus is the place inside the earth's crust, where an earthquake originates. So this is the focus inside the earth's crust. Then the point on the earth's surface directly above the focus is the epicenter. So this is the epicenter. So next, how will you describe an earthquake? How strong is an earthquake? How will you describe that? So the answer is very simple. Earthquake can be described based on its intensity and magnitude. So how will you differentiate an intensity from that of magnitude? So magnitude, it is the measure of energy released by the earthquake. It is measured by an instrument called the seismograph. It is also the quantitative measure of its strength in terms of energy released. While the intensity is the measurement of how strong or weak is the shaking produced by an earthquake in a certain location. It is measured in terms of damages caused by an earthquake in different places. So in short, magnitude is a measure of earthquake size and remains unchanged with the distance from the earthquake, while intensity describes the degree of shaking caused by an earthquake at a given place and decreases with the distance from the earthquake's epicenter. So that is how we will describe an earthquake. So here is a scale entitled PHIVOX Earthquake Intensity Scale. So here are the intensities. We have this intensity 1, which is scarcely perceptible, up to intensity 10, completely devastating. So I will give you an information from intensity 1 to intensity 5. So in intensity 1, scarcely perceptible. In the scarcely perceptible, it is perceptible to people under favorable circumstances. So meaning delicately balanced objects are disturbed only slightly. Still water in containers oscillates slowly. So, or on the intensity 2, slightly felt. It is felt by few individuals at rest indoors. So, which means hanging objects swing slightly. Still water in containers oscillates noticeably. So on the third scale, which is the weak, felt by many people indoors, especially in upper floors of buildings. Vibration is felt like one passing of a light truck. Dizziness and nausea are experienced by some people. Hanging objects swing moderately. Still water in containers oscillates moderately. So that is the intensity number 3. So for the intensity number 4, which is the moderately strong, felt generally by people indoors and by some people outdoors. So these light sleepers are awakened. Vibration is felt like a passing of heavy truck. Hanging objects swing considerably. Dinner plates, glasses, windows, and doors rattle. Floors and walls of wood-framed buildings creak. Standing motor cars may rock slightly. Liquids in containers are slightly disturbed. And water in containers oscillates strongly. Rumbling sounds may sometimes be heard. So on the intensity 5, strong. So this is generally felt by most people indoors and outdoors. So many sleeping people are awakened. Some are frightened. Some run outdoors. Strong shaking and rocking felt throughout buildings. Hanging objects swing violently. Dining utensils clatter and clink. Some are broken. Small, light, and unstable objects may fall or overturn. Liquid spill from filled open containers. Standing vehicles rock noticeably, and shaking of lids and twigs of trees are noticeable. So, as far as we know, the intensity 5 is really devastating. So next, what is the relationship between earthquake and fault? So earthquakes occur in fault. It is caused by a sudden slip on fault. Stresses in the Earth's outer layer push the sides of the fault. The friction across the surface of the fault holds the rocks together. However, when the pressure becomes so great, the rocks could no longer hold. This is when a fault slips, causing an earthquake. So, on the illustration, on the left side, or on the right side on your view, we can see on how to describe a fault in terms of fault line, fault plane, the foot wall, and the hanging wall. So, fault line, it is the trace of the fault on the surface of the earth, while the fault plane is the surface between two pieces. So, next is the types of faults. So, there are three types of faults: the normal fault, reverse fault, and the strike-slip fault. So, normal fault. This forms as a result of tension. The rock layers in the Earth's crust are pulled apart, and the gravity causes one section to move downward in relation to the other. So, we can see it on this illustration here. This is the normal fault. Next is the reverse fault. This forms because of compression. The rock layers in the Earth's crust are squeezed together, and the forces pushes one section upward in relation to the other. So this is the illustration of the reverse fault. The next, strike-slip fault. This forms when the rock layers on the opposite sides of a fault slide past one another horizontally. This type of fault is sometimes called as a tear wrench or transcurrent fault. So this is the illustration of the strike-slip fault. So we are now on the active and inactive faults. So active fault, it is one that has moved in the past and is expected to move again, meaning it has the ability to generate earthquake. Geologists consider faults as active when there has been seismic activity observed during the last 10,000 years. So in layman's term, active fault is a structure along which we expect displacement to occur. Then, inactive faults. So, inactive faults has structure that can be identified but which do not have earthquakes. So, it is therefore important to carefully study the map of distribution of active faults and trenches in the Philippines. Be familiar with the lines on the map and be guided with the legend on the right side. So this is the distribution of the active faults and trenches in the Philippines. So you can Google this and search for it, and you can print this on and to be you can study it and it can be your guide. That is the active and the inactive faults. we have finished discussing about the earthquake, types of faults, inactive and active faults. Thank you for listening and don't forget to subscribe.